Hey, what is up YouTube? Just want to do a quick update of my build. So currently we're at level 81 and we completed Merc Lab today, and as you can see I'm no longer using that chest because once we reached high yellow maps today I started dying quite a bit, and that's because there is a lack of defenses. I was sitting at about 20% evasion, I was 55 fire res, 55 cold res, and things were getting a bit spicy. I was getting hit a lot and I was dying quite a bit. So because of that we decided to drop the chest that generates power charges and go for a real chest, kind of what we intended since the start, since before the league. I theory crafted the build and we just intended on generating frenzies anyway, and yeah, just going for a pure lightning build. But the initial variant using the chest was a very good supplement to the initial damage when the monsters were still weaker. So moving forward, this is how I decided to approach the defenses, and it's starting to look very good. So currently I'm approaching the high rids, so currently I'm working on T14's T15 maps, and yeah, I'll have to showcase at the end of the video with some of the T11 mapping and bosses that I've done, which I have live on stream, so you can check the VODs if you guys want to see the full progression there. And yeah, so we finished Merc Lab and we went for the crit node, and on top of that we went for the crit passes on the tree, which I'll go through in just a bit. So starting off the skills, what I'm using currently is Infused Weapon with a pure lightning variant, just keeping the automated portion of the frenzies, no longer using power charges. So currently Infused Weapon is linked to Execute, Long Shot, Primal Armament, and Lightning Exposure. I'm not sure if this worked, honestly, I'm just trying it out. Stormcaller Arrow to be able to weapon swap and shock for us, linked to Conduction, Lasting Shock, and I'm following this to be able to include Lasting Shock, but you do need to make sure that you have enough damage through having a good enough weapon swap bow, and to be able to inflict shocks for longer means that you have higher uptime with shock burst rounds if you cannot kill the boss in one round. Following that, we have galvanic shards with fork, acceleration, nimble reload, and martial tempo. If you can BS, that's where you'll switch martial tempo for shock burst rounds on bosses, but if you're like me and you're too lazy, you can just leave it as it is. You can either have lightning infusion on galvanic shards and martial tempo faster if you want to value your bossing to be smoother, but if you just want smoother mapping, you have martial tempo on galvanic shards, and then you just put lightning infusion into shock burst. This is still a fairly decent setup, although not the most optimal, but that's fine, I'm just lazy to switch gems. So for my shock burst rounds, Conk Effect, Alley Focus, Fresh Clip, and then Lightning Infusion. Honestly, you can swap Lightning Infusion with Primal Armaments with your Infused Weapon. I think that's maybe a little bit more damage, and your Infused Weapon should be able to shock a little bit more and potentially be able to expose a little bit better, but it's up to you what you want to try out. This is currently what I have. Voltaic Mark is the same with Arcane Tempo, Blink with Second Wind Ingenuity, and Combat Frenzy with Profusion, Wind Dancer with Precision, and Unbreakable. So Precision is something that changed. I take out Cannibalism, and so far my life sustain has been fairly okay because my defenses are a lot higher, so I realized I no longer need Cannibalism, and my crossbow actually has a little bit of life per enemy hit, so that helps with the sustain, and pressing the life last with high defenses is mostly enough. So Precision works very well with Falcon Dive, which scales with your accuracy, on top of accuracy granting crit chance, so that's why we swapped to Precision Aura instead of Cannibalism, because we have not enough Spirit. Herald of Thunder is currently linked to Innervate, Lightning Pen, Magnified Effect, and Charge Infusion will be the consumption of our choice for the frenzies that we generate when we electrocute enemies through Combat Frenzy. So that being said, let me jump into my gear set. I'm going to hover each of the pieces. So I actually bought this crossbow for 1 divine. It previously only had 4 modifiers, the 3 prefixes for the physical damage alongside attack speed. So I bought it for a steal. There were no runes, there were no quality, so this was a 400 DPS when I bought it. Since then I put in the runes and qualityed it up, and it brought it over to 540 PDPS. I think the seller just priced it according to after you put the quality and runes and did not know, so I managed to snag it out by live searching. So I managed to get it for cheap, and now it's a 540 PDPS crossbow. So I went ahead and used my luck and slammed on life gain per enemy hit and gain mana per enemy killed with 2 exalts, and yeah, I think that used up helped me store up some RNG there. Following that, the next improvement, moving to a crit build. This is one of the new helmets introduced with this league, which is insane. So I think Cyclone came on my stream and said that he bought this. I took a look at it and I said, this is insane for all Amazon builds, essentially because all Amazon builds will be using crit. So this helmet giving you Tailwind is like an Ascendency, a Deadeye Ascendency on the helmet. Absolutely insane. Gives you high amounts of evasion, rarity for magic find, some resist, which is nice, and Tailwind, which is the most insane part of it all. And since we're critting, we're gaining Tailwind every second essentially. And yeah, giving us speed, giving us defense through the significant amount of evasion that we get. And yeah, so you can see that currently our evasion is 72%, but in maps it goes all the way up to 83, 84% chance to evade, which is insane. So in the future, if I can increase my evasion a little bit more through my rings, I think I'll be fairly comfortable with taking aggro, potentially. So my amulet is the same. Ideally, I need to upgrade my amulet and rings to have life on them. So my rings are over here. And then the chest, which we swapped out from the power charge chest, is going to be a pure evasion chest to be able to shore up the defenses, because I find myself dying a lot as I progress through the Atlas. Monsters start hitting a lot harder, and yeah, just killing them fast enough was not good enough. So yeah, this chest helped us to gain a lot of the defenses that we were missing, and a very nice addition to the build. Kitoko's the same, the belt's the same, the boot's the same. I need to get life on the boots, rings, and amulet, to be honest. So currently I'm sitting at 1.4k life. Ideally, I want to get closer to 2000 HP, and that is the benchmark that I want to get to, alongside 500 energy shield. I need to find a way to get it. Possibly that we will have to anoint Spectral Ward as one of the options for the build. So going into our passive tree, you can see that our Ascendency points, first we went for Open Weakness, then Elemental Infusion as of my previous video, and since then I did Merc Lab at about level 76 I think, and then I went for the crit node alongside Black Insignia to be able to get faster speed, faster defense in maps, and we respec our tree a little bit. We were previously pathing by the top, and now we're going to path by the outer rim because we're going to be getting a Falcon Dive. And on top of that, we are going to be taking some crit nodes, so we took out some increased LE from our tree to be able to spec into some of the crit nodes, the Tainted Strike, as well as Stuck Through, which is going to be important to be able to scale our critical hit chance and crit multi for the build. So the biggest thing that I found when speccing to this build at level 80 was or actually 76 when I first ascended to Merc Lab, was that there was not enough passive points to be able to take all the crit nodes that I want. So just keep in mind that you want to be at least level 78 to 80 before you go into the crit variant of the build. If not, you'll run out of passives. So yeah, that is the passive tree and what I've opted for. One other thing was that I purchased some cheap jewels from trade for 1 Exalt. I think I just searched for crossbow reload speed, found a second mod that was good, bought it, regaled it, and just used a couple of these random jewels on my tree. So yeah, just going for a little bit more reload speed for a bit more comfort in the maps. So that's going to be a build update. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by on the stream, and yeah, I'll be happy to ask them. Put that in the comments below, and feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Ouch. What is this? Extract ES. Yeah, honestly, I'm not feeling the ricochet. I think Exile Lightning Infuse is better, I think. And the Infuse also increases Electrocute chance, right? I mean Electrocute rate. They do more damage. Oh, it's Proxy Tenji, right? shit. Okay, that. By the way, you have half in your endgame POB, half for a new patch is not working for fist conversion skills. Yeah, I realized. I put in half in my shock burst, it didn't increase damage, and I took it out. So yeah, I realized that. I was trying yesterday for my 5th link. I was gonna use half, and then it was like, huh, the damage increased by so little. Ouch. Yeah, the endgame POB was released before the league started. Which means that Rislata no longer works. Superior bladed quarterstaff. Hunter Hood. Oh, that's the stupid helm. The suppress helm for PA1. Gosh. Right, this is T11 AoE against fire boss. Hopefully we don't die. It's pretty wild. Okay. Hey, give me map. 12, nice progression.